What's a social cheat code you learned from just observing people? Story 1. Mirroring someone's energy level works like magic. If they're excited, match that vibe. If they're calm and thoughtful, slow down your pace. People feel more comfortable around others who match their wavelength. Answer. I work with this as a method. Does wonders for cognitively impaired autists in particular. The evolution of this is to first march their energy and then adjust your energy up-down in the direction you're trying to help the person. We speak of lending others your nervous system. Even if you're not calm enthusiastic inside with practice, you can project these mind states onto others, assuming some groundwork on the professional relationship with the subject. Some of my highly trained pedagogic coworkers refuse to understand what kind of magic I'm using when a distressed, high-low energy level person instantly latches onto my body language and begins to adjust their nervous state, seemingly without intervention. Many of these professionals think they can just talk louder and louder to coerce their subject into changing the state of their nervous system. They will unconsciously mirror the undesirable energy level, exacerbating it. Sometimes you need to do the opposite of what would be rational. We're in a great hurry. No, we have all the time in the world. You're throwing chairs around the room. I feel completely safe around you, and I won't let anyone hurt you. You're gonna run away from home, a huge issue. That's okay. You're not a prisoner and your agency matters. Many of my coworkers see how this could work, but they will revert back to just reacting to their own feelings. Story 2. The last impression is a lasting impression. Leave meetings or any kind of interaction you can on a high note. Give a genuine compliment, make people laugh, ask people to explain something, and genuinely thank them. If every time people talk to you, they walk away happier, your life or work will be that much easier and also just better. Story 3. To get through a massive standing crowd, turn sideways, stick your leading arm out, and go gently, touching and bumping people as you move. They will naturally be curious about the bump and turn, thereby creating a spot for you to move to. Repeat without stopping. You'll traverse the whole crowd very quickly. Story 4. Say nice things about people behind their backs, as well as to their faces. Dropping in a casual that Mike, he's really considerate and patient, makes you look observant, positive, and interested in people. People will think better of you if you point out good things about others. It's the reverse of someone who always chats, shoot behind people's backs. You end up leaving those negative conversations thinking, ugh, I wonder what she says about ME behind my back. Instead of, I hope she talks about me like that behind my back. Answer. To add to this, past behavior is, more often than not, a good predictor of future behavior. If a person trash talks others or shares non-public information with you, then they will share information about you. Same with keeping secrets. If you have witnessed someone sharing a secret with or around you, then they are sharing everyone's secrets. If you have been left out of a conversation one time, it's an accident. Twice is a coincidence, and more than 2 times, it is completely intentional. This goes for conversations, emails, text groups, etc. Story 5. If you feel like you're too quiet and things are awkward when you socialize, it's because other people can tell you feel uncomfortable, and so they do too. Once I started pretending I am confident, pretending I'm interesting, pretending I don't care what other people think, other people became relaxed around me and things no longer felt awkward. Just fake it. Story 6. Asking people how they would do it makes your work easier and gives people comfort. Always try to listen to people with the thought, I might learn something new here, and let people finish. I wasn't doing it for 30 years, and since I did, my whole life changed. Story 7. There are a lot of people out there who think saying something confidently enough will let them get away with saying anything, even if it's completely incorrect. Watch out for them and anyone who easily believes them with a second thought. Story 8. I use a 3-point technique for gaining fans and expertise points at work just by being nice. First, frame things as a we. Second, find a harmless common enemy, which reinforces the we. Third, most important, make them feel smart, preserve their ego. You'll find yourself being listened to and looked at as a good collaborator and/or leader quickly. People love being reinforced and affirmed. They don't love having their ego bruised. By giving affirmation, you are subtly placing yourself in a more powerful position. Example, someone asks you for help with a procedure in Salesforce. Tell them, "Let's take a look." Okay, I think first we gotta we framing. Geez, Salesforce is so annoying to use sometimes. The navigation is so unclear. Harmless common enemy. You were 99 there. It was just this little thing that tangled up your progress. Honestly, this trips up so many people, etc. Reinforce that they're not a dummy for asking for help. People remember how you helped them, but mostly how you made them feel good about it. This reinforces your position. They will return to you for guidance. Tell others you are great at X. Over time, you get a reputation for being competent, smart, and a go-to person, even if you're really not that advanced beyond the rest. TLDR gain influence, social capital, by making people feel good about themselves. Seems so obvious, but I see so many leaders fail because they dish out corrections and instructions in an ego-busting manner which makes people avoid resent them. Story 9. In medium to large meetings. 3 people. Keep your mouth shut unless you're running the show, or unless you have significant new information to add to the conversation. But when you do have that information, make a point of saying it while the topic is relevant. There's so many times people monologue in a large billable meeting that are completely unnecessary, or there are a lot of times where one person will bunny trail and just not contribute. Let the leader of the meeting actually lead it. Story 10. When a question or statement pops into your head, when you encounter someone, like a barista, pause and think about how many times this person gets this comment. Is what you have to say original? Or do you have to listen to you because they are posted there and can't move and get away from you? Story 11. If someone asks you a question out of the blue and it seems to not apply to you much, they probably actually want you to ask it back to them. As a rule of thumb, mirroring conversational questions will get you along nicely. E.g., how was your weekend? Fine. How was yours? Oh, I did X, Y, and Z. Story 12. If you think you're a bad dancer, fall back on the simplest thing you can think of and smile. You might not become a good dancer, but people will see you looking happy and moving, and you'd be amazed at how much people will be attracted to that perception of happiness and fun. Story 13. Memorize the name of people you often have to interact with and greet them by name when you see them. E.g., local salesmen from stores you visit, secretaries, security at your workplace, etc. Their attitude towards you will often improve greatly and will likely benefit you in the long run in ways you won't imagine, especially if you have a problem they can potentially help with. Story 14. On most circles, let it be family, work, or friends, there is usually one person who openly criticizes others. I call them the critic. For some stupid reason, everyone on the circle tends to value their opinion and will strive to make themselves look good to the critic. Story 15. In a group, if someone gets cut off, circle back to them. Let the other person finish, or say a decent amount if they are just going on and on. Acknowledge the interrupting person's comments politely. Something like, "Yeah, good point," But, John, what were you saying? The interrupted person will often remember it, and in a group that can happen to everyone there at some point, shows that you are thoughtful too. Story 16. I was high in a big crowd of people, and I noticed through eavesdropping on a group near me that it's true. You can massively improve your storytelling and presence in a group by eliminating like and and any other filler words from your sentences. Everyone was sharing stories, and the one person who used a lot of likes and ums lost interest from the group quickly. Pay attention to people in your life who tell good stories or command good presence. The more you use words that are non-descriptive or tentative, the more you seem unsure. Also, don't rush through it. Allow people to make comments. Story 17. Compliment people if you notice they just got a haircut. Compliment it. If you're at a friend's house and you like how they've decorated, compliment it. If you're playing in a rec sports league and are impressed with the play of a teammate or opponent, compliment them. People like validation. Story 18. When a person describes an experience they had, most people jump in with their own experience. I got in a car crash. Oh, I got in a car crash too. Instead, ask them about their experience instead of just talking about yourself. Story 19. If they have a recent tattoo, especially if it's very elaborate, ask them about it, or compliment it. Same with their manicure, hairstyle, or any controllable aspect of their self-presentation that looks like it took lots of time. I didn't learn this from observation, but I have used it successfully for starting conversations, creating rapport, or just brightening a person's day. Edited to emphasize self-presentation rather than appearance. Story 20. Treat small talk like a conversation with an NPC. Keep clicking the dialogue button. You'll learn more about the people you talk to, and everyone loves talking about themselves. Did you get up too much on the weekend? Yeah, I went to the cinema. What movie did you see? 小孩子. Did you like it? Yes. What did you like about it? Etc. Story 21. Act genuinely curious about people, not in a fake way, but just ask them stuff. People love talking about themselves when they feel like someone's actually listening. And when you remember little things they said the next time you see them, you basically unlock bonus points in their brain. Story 22. Ask people's names. Even if you might never see them again, or if you won't remember, be honest and laugh with them the next time you see them. But always ask their name and formally introduce yourself. This has helped me so much and opened crazy doors. People really do appreciate being seen like that. Also, be very polite and treat people with respect. Story 23. Not giving a shoot about failing to close is the key to talking to anybody and selling yourself. Applies to hitting on women, sales, meeting cool people, making deals, getting a job, being invited to cool stuff. Story 24. If you want people to like you, mirror their energy. If you want people to believe your story, have a part that makes you look bad. I tutor orphans because I love helping is less believable than, so I was trying to win this girl over, so I started tutoring orphans. She wasn't that impressed, but I feel in love with it, so I kept doing it because it's very rewarding. You get the same result, but now they believe you. Story 25. People always go to whatever has a queue because they think it's an endorsement. If you go to a place without a queue often forms behind you. The queue isn't an endorsement most of the time, it's just herd behavior. I worked on a newspaper stand on weekends when I was young, and when there were two piles of one newspaper, one would usually run out quickly while the other was barely touched. But it wouldn't be the same pile every week. Story 26. If in an argument or disagreement, just don't talk unnecessarily. Don't fill in silence in the conversation with unnecessary justification or positioning. I use this with customers who want to complain about our price on an estimate or etc. I just wait through any awkward silence for an actual question or something that requires a response. Takes the wind out of their sails. Story 27. If someone is into sport, you don't need to be. Just listen or watch a 5-minute podcast or YT video each game and use it as a conversation starter. Most of the time, you only need to say something like, "Did you see the game at the weekend? I can't believe X was so bad good." And that's enough to get the person talking to you. Story 28. I noticed people will get out of the way of someone walking who is not looking forward. They think the person isn't paying attention and they will be bumped into. I use this method all the time, but I am paying attention. I look away in busy crowds and oncoming people move all the time. Makes it way easier with sunglasses. My eyes are forward, but sunglasses make it look like I'm looking away. I'm not a jerk about it. I mainly use it at a busy event like a concert sporting event when people use up a whole walkway. Works best at supermarkets when people clog a whole aisle. Story 29. If you want to maintain any relationship with someone you don't know very well, always acknowledge their presence when you see them around. This works a lot in school and especially college, where classes aren't as social, so it's harder to make friends than in high school. Remember people's names. If you forget, then ask right away. Say their name when you see them around, even if it's just a wave and a hi. Even if you don't see yourself becoming better friends with someone, you will feel better and give yourself a little bit of dopamine just by saying hi in passing. It'll build your social confidence. Story 30. If you're addressing multiple people at once, acknowledge everyone in the group, be it by eye contact, hand gestures, etc. Don't leave anyone out. It helps with group cohesion. And it's just a nice thing to do. Who doesn't want to feel acknowledged and or important? Oh, and if someone's trying to get a word in, always give them a chance to speak their mind. Otherwise, they'll feel left out and start getting frustrated. Story 31. If you want to navigate a conversation, pick spots on the other party's face for maximum efficiency. A spot in the middle of the forehead just above the eyes for dominance. Tip of the nose for casual conversation. Lips, if you're looking for demure energy. It'll make people sympathize with what you're saying. A subservient position. Never break contact if you're making a serious point, but always break contact if you're being asked a serious question. It implies thoughtfulness. Story 32. Asking for permission when someone is angry or sad, especially in customer service, saying something like, "Thank you for sharing your experience. Is it okay if I pass this along to X?" You don't technically need their permission in most instances, but it allows them to feel agency when odds are they were upset because they lost it. I also ask, "Is it okay if I give you some background information?" when I am about to tell them why XYZ happened. Sometimes I get a no, and that's fine, I respect it. But if the answer is yes, they are already setting themselves up to hear an explanation. Asking for permission where I can has de-escalated 99 of the issues that escalate to me. I'm a manager. Story 33. If you want something, you have to turn it and make it about them. For example, if you want to leave, I'll let you get going. I won't keep you long. Or if you want to start eating, if you're ever hungry, let me know. Story 34. If you are at an incredibly loud concert and you want to hear your friend next to you, just plug your ear that's closest to them and lean in. You'll hear them every time and they don't even have to scream. It does get a little weird when you do this for your friends so they can hear you, but I dislike destroying my voice because someone can't hear me. Story 35. Introduce yourself to someone with as little words as possible. Pay attention to their accent when they respond. Mimic their accent and body posing to instantly gain more likability with strangers. Don't ask people what they want. Present them with options. Higher likelihood that they will choose an option. This falls into asking someone for a date. Don't ask if they'd like to get a drink sometime. Ask if they'd like to get one this Friday, or if this Saturday would work better. They are more likely to only see the options presented. Story 36. If someone tries to control how you feel before they explain what they did, they're manipulating you. Real people own their actions. Manipulators flip it into guilt, confusion, or pity before truth ever enters the room. Watch their order of operations. 1. Trigger your emotion. 2. Blur the facts. 3. Make you question yourself. Learn that sequence, and you'll spot them before they even finish their sentence. Story 37. Listening to Reddit will very quickly fudge your social life up. Remember, we're all here posting shoot takes in response to questions like this. Real gregarious folks are too busy to waste time on this. Story 38. My best friend is everyone's favorite human. I just watched him interact with people for like 3 months and saved that shoot. Now I play it back when I need to interact with people. I just become him when I need it. I develop instant people skills. Story 39. Want to make people like you? Get them to talk about themselves. Pick a thing they said and then ask them how that works and get to think they are sharing something of value to you. Pretend to be interested or be interested. People who are mad at you, ask them to do something small for you. They will soften up. Story 40. A secret of making people like you is to make them feel heard. When they mention something about themselves or a problem they're facing, ask them questions, encourage them to elaborate, and show interest in what the other person is saying. I know people who do this intentionally and make others fall for their fake empathy. Compliments also do wonders. Also, if you want to make friends with someone, you have to make the first move. For example, ask them to hang out or drink a coffee together. This is difficult for me as I'm pretty awkward and insecure about myself, so I usually wait for others to give me a sign they enjoy my company so that I know they care. The truth is, no one really cares about you. People like attention. They will hang out with the ones who give them most attention. And it's as simple as that. Of course, I still have no close friends. Story 41. Want to engage in a conversation without knowing anything about what's being discussed? Just ask them questions. What's the best part about being a whatever job or role in a hobby they have? Or just say, I actually don't know much about topic. What can you tell me about it? Bonus points if it's a hobby or special interest, as they will probably be delighted to talk about something they're really passionate about. Also, if people with ADHD or some kind of social neurodivergence. If I lose track of the conversation, I just ask them to repeat what they said. Odds are that they're gonna be more offended if you pretend like you know what's going on, rather than just letting them know that you need a repeat. Story 42. That people love to talk about themselves. Ask questions, listen intently. Remember things and bring it up later. Also, fake your confidence. Act as if you belong in any room you walk into, and nobody will question you. Story 43. This works way better with toddlers. When you're giving options, give the option you want them to pick last in the order. They're more likely to pick that. It also works as a test of whether your toddler is actually picking something or just mirroring what you're saying. Just give the options in different orders and check if they'll just copy the last one or have a consistent answer. Story 44. I taught myself the different head nods of men noticing each other. Head down, nod. I don't know you, but I do see you head up. Nod. I do know you, and I do see you head up with extended arm hand. They are buddies, side nod with a short wave. Their families probably hang out together often. I'm missing one, but I can't remember what it is anyway. I learned this stuff by working in a Home Depot for a few years. Story 45. When many people are walking toward you, keep moving forward steadily, eyes slightly down so no one can tell if you're looking at them that way. You don't have to step aside and they make room for you. Story 46. If you forget someone's name but aren't in a position to admit it, say sorry, your name is escaping me. Then when they say my name's Bob, you reply, Bob, of course I know your first name. I mean your surname. I can't for the life of me remember it, or some variation of that. Smooths out the awkwardness of having forgotten names mid-conversation. Story 47. Laughing and making fun of yourself when someone mocks you about something makes people like you. And conversely, getting upset when they mock you makes them forever not like you and continue to bully you forever. Story 48. Addiction pays. A crackhead? Go on, smash that window. Someone else will pay. A tipsy? Other people will clean up after you. A meth head? Steal what you want, no consequences. A gambler? Defraud who you want. White-collar crime gets white-collar punishment. Story 49. Similarly, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, if they are experiencing negative emotions rather than matching their energy level, they come in one level below it and slowly work their way down. Pure mirroring in those situations is only going to keep them riled up, and going too low will do the same. Story 50. I work in a customer-facing role and never realized I do this until a colleague pointed it out. I was helping an older lady and was talking like her, calm and quiet. Then some tipsy football lads came along and I started talking like them, taking the piss and matching their energy, and they loved it. Not ride to either party in any way, just matching their energy. I feel a bit self-conscious of it now it was pointed out. Story 51. I work in hospitality. This works like a charm. I'm the unofficial FOH manager because of this LMAO. My workmates always comment on how quickly I turn from banter with the workmate's voice to customer service voice LMAO. Story 52. I work with this as a method. Does wonders for cognitively impaired autists in particular. The evolution of this is to first march their energy and then adjust your energy up-down in the direction you're trying to help the person. We speak of lending others your nervous system. Even if you're not calm enthusiastic inside, with practice, you can project these mind states onto others, assuming some groundwork on the professional relationship with the subject. Some of my highly trained pedagogic coworkers refuse to understand what kind of magic I'm using when a distressed, high-low energy level person instantly latches onto my body language and begins to adjust their nervous state, seemingly without intervention. Many of these professionals think they can just talk louder and louder to curse their subject into changing the state of their nervous system. They will unconsciously mirror the undesirable energy level, exacerbating it. Sometimes you need to do the opposite of what would be rational. We're in a great hurry. No, we have all the time in the world. You're throwing chairs around the room. I feel completely safe around you and I won't let anyone hurt you. You're gonna run away from home. A huge issue. That's okay, you're not a prisoner and your agency matters. Many of my coworkers see how this could work, but they will revert back to just reacting to their own feelings. Story 53. This also works well if you want to diffuse a situation. Someone angry, excited, loud, and you need them to listen or comply. Talk quieter, relax your body. Don't tell them to calm down, just act that way yourself, and the person tends to mirror that.